This meeting.
So here we will be post analyzing. We'll start the designing part of it. Okay. So after analyzing any requirement, if we are very much understanding the requirements and we are all good with the requirements, if I ask you to develop it, is that possible to go directly and for example, you are a developer and I give the analysis part of the requirements, will we be able to develop the application? No. Why? Because there should be a particular shape to it, and if 10 people are developing it, for example 10 developers are there, I give only the analysis part of the requirements, then see, all these 10 people cannot imagine how the application should look like, and they cannot design their own way, right? There should be a single design wherein which everybody should follow that design and start developing it. So after analysis, we have a design phase. Okay. Of course, in design phase, we have different types of designing documents that comes out based out of this design, like high-level design, low-level design documents, etc. We'll be discussing about those actual documents while in the future classes. Okay. So after designing, we will be having the complete picture of what needs to be developed, how it needs to be developed. Okay. So then we can choose any of the programming languages based on the client's requirement, and we can start developing it. Okay. After developing, we will be testing it. Okay. And then implementation. Implementation is nothing but we will be pushing the code to production. What does this mean is the application will be given to the end users to use it. Nothing else than that. All the mobile phones that are having different apps in your mobile phone are developed in this way. Okay, for you to better understand, this is the example. All the apps that you use daily, day in and day out, are developed in this way and parked them in the Play Store for us to download from the Play Store. Okay. So when there is an SDLC, okay, based on the type of project that we are going to develop, project or product. Okay, yesterday you got the differences, right? So we will be following a particular model. It can be waterfall, it can be spiral, it can be agile, it can be iterative, it can be prototype. This or it can be V model, it can be fish model. Okay, there are a lot of models in the market. You can customize your own model, as I said previously. Okay, so based on the project and the company's convenience, okay, model, any of the model is being chosen and being followed. Okay, and how are these models going to affect us as a test engineers? Where are we getting into picture while we are using this software development lifecycle? Okay, so basically we fit into testing phase of SDLC. Okay. So here, during the testing phase, okay, we will be doing our own job as if developers are doing their job. Okay. Why are developers not learning all this? Okay. Basically, some of your friends will be, uh, maybe learning Java or .NET or some other programming languages, but none of the course content will give all these models, etc. Okay, they'll not explain this. All this need to be understood by only test engineers. Why? Because we will be fitting into each and every phase of this development life cycle, which means that testing should be part of each and every phase of life cycle. You have requirements gathering, requirements should be reviewed. Okay. Only post review, you will get into planning phase. After planning, requirement should be, planning document should be reviewed. Only then we will get into design phase. What is this review? Review is nothing but we are validating it. Okay, somebody needs to validate. Why are the business analysts, when yesterday while we were discussing about the me having a number of retail outlets, I go to a software company and ask them for a project to be developed, right? So now business analysts analyze that and come to me saying that, okay, we will develop a project and these are the this is what we will give you. Okay. So why should a business analyst come to me and say that this is what your requirement is and this is what we analyzed it? Why should he come to me? He can directly go to planning phase, right? End of the day, it is something tied up to the budget. Okay. And customer satisfaction. Okay. If I say something, business analyst understood something, developers understood something. Okay. What is the product that is developed? I say ABC, XYZ is being developed. Okay. So to avoid all this, okay, there are reviews that are happening in each and every phase. So any phase that is done is being reviewed. Here, testing is involved in each and every phase. That is the reason we got to understand all this procedures. Okay. And what model when to use, that depends on the organization. Okay. And basically, not only organization, even customers, I mean the clients who are willing to develop their project may ask for a particular model. There are chances. Okay. Like agile development model. In agile, it's like you have too much customer interaction. Okay. Day in and day out, you will be speaking with the customer. End of the day, we will have to satisfy the customer or the client. Okay. Why? Because he's paying us. So we will have to act according to his requirements. If the customer says, okay, I want to build an helicopter today, yes, we should start building it. Okay. And if he says, I don't want a helicopter, it accommodates only 5 to 7 or 10 people, I want an airplane. Okay, we should be able to, change it, and we should be able to build the airplane which accommodates more than 100 people. Okay, here, in order to accommodate the changes that are given by the client during our development phase, Agile is the very good methodology that will help customers to change the requirements whenever they feel that the product that is being developed is not not something that he is willing to accept. Okay, so customers who are planning for a product while the product is being developed may think of something else. Okay, and he may propose few more changes. Okay, Agile, the concept of Agile methodology is it accepts to the changes. So what did we discuss in waterfall model? If there is a change during any of the phase crossed, for example, requirements gathering phase crossed and you are in planning, if customer says there is a change in the requirement, you will have again go to the requirement gathering phase and come back to the planning again. Okay. If the same thing happens during the testing phase, customer looks at the application and says, no, I don't want this, I want something else. Something else was asked and this is not my requirement. Then you will have to go back all the way to the requirements gathering and come from there. Okay, which means you will again have to take the new requirements from the client, planning, and then design, and then development, then comes to testing. Look at the time that is being involved here. So, see, projects, small and large projects. Okay, small projects can span for a month, 3 months, 6 months. Okay, and the large projects will go for years long. Okay, if that is the case, I was part of waterfall model. Okay, once the development and design documents are done, we were given 3 months time to just study the documents. What were we doing? Just spending 2 to 5 days, almost a week only to study the documents. What am I doing other 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks? I mean, 3 months in this sense. 4 3s are 12, right? 11 weeks. I'm only going through the document for 1 week, and remaining, what am I doing? I'm enjoying. So here a lot of time is also wasted. So I was part of waterfall model. I was part of V model. Okay. So that is the reason Agile came into wide existence. So now let's get into the Agile methodology. Before that, any other questions? And Sital, are you good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Now, So what is agile methodology? Please guys make a note of this. Okay. This is a practice that promotes continuous iteration of development and testing throughout the software development life cycle. Okay, what does this mean? That promotes continuous iteration and development, iteration of development and testing throughout the software development life cycle, which means promotes continuous iteration. Iteration means you will be developing it, testing it. You will be developing it, testing it, developing it, testing it in small cycles. Okay. So in the software development life cycle, we do have development phase as well as testing phase, right? These two will be continuously happening in iterations. Wherein which, when these are happening, when you're developing, okay, development is done, and you take the developed part and start testing. All this happens in small chunks. Okay, you take small portion of it when it comes to agile methodology. Small part of the functionality, you develop it, you test that functionality. Okay, you come back. Okay, take other functionality, develop it, test it. Okay, test it in the sense as customer is interacting with us on a daily basis. Customer also will be looking at the application or the functionality that is being developed. So here, if he feels that something is not really right, or the functionality which he requested is deviating, then he will change then and there and give it to the development. Okay, after this is being developed, again it's going to be tested, and this time customer is satisfied. He got what he required. Okay, agile methodology promotes continuous iterations. What is iteration? Nothing but a cycle. Continuous cycles of development and testing throughout the software development life cycle. Here, both development and testing are concurrent, unlike waterfall model. Do you understand? In waterfall model, if something is not really right, you will have to go to the requirements gathering and come from there. This model is completely different from waterfall model. Here, both development and testing activities are happening concurrently. Okay. That's about agile methodology. In agile software methodology, one of the simplest and effective process to turn a vision for a business need into a software solution. Okay. Business needs, I mean, customer vision for a business can be easily turned into software solutions. So what is that we have in agile is employee planning, learning, improvement, team collaboration, evolutionary development, and LD delivery. It encourages flexible responses to change. What was I saying all this time? We will be interacting with the customer on daily basis, customer or the client. Okay, we'll be interacting with the client or customer on daily basis. So what does this statement says? It encourages flexible responses to change. So what is the change? After a small portion of the functionality is developed, okay, customer says, no, I don't want this. I want this to be changed. Okay. So we in Agile methodology are flexible to change it. So the customer's change can be easily adopted and it can be developed and tested as part of iterations. Okay. This Agile methodology, only because it is very much accepting the changes from the customer, we are using Agile methodology in the software development lifecycle. I mean, most of the companies are using Agile methodology nowadays. It's been some time now. I mean, almost it's like 10 years. People are using Agile methodology. The only reason is it is flexible to change. Any requirement can be changed and we'll be able to develop it and test it. And another advantage here with Agile methodology is, as I was saying previously, only through go through the documents. Okay, after designing is done, I was given, I mean, this was just an example. I was given 3 months of time in waterfall model. So suppose that the development will be done. Okay, then we will be given the application to test. Okay, so as after every phase, the next phase starts, we'll be waiting for the application. Meantime, we will not be sitting idle, of course. We'll be going through the documents. We'll have to design test plan, test strategy, module level test plans, module level test strategies, then test cases. There are so many documents which we'll have to prepare before the code is pushed to our testing. Yes. Okay. So anyway, while we are following a waterfall model, it takes some time for each and every phase to be done and give us the final product. Unlike traditional models, okay, waterfall, spiral, prototype, unlike these models, here in Agile methodology, what is happening is any functionality that is being developed, as I said, functionality is developed in small chunks in Agile methodology. Okay, small pieces. Okay, so when this is developed in small chunks, when this is tested thoroughly and customer is satisfied, why should I wait for other portions of the functionality to be done? So what will I do? After an iteration, I'll push this functionality into production, which means that customers should be able to use that functionality, which means that customer is seeing the value for the budget that he has spent. Okay. So now how these functionalities are being developed. Okay. We'll get into that now. Okay. When functionality is divided into smaller chunks and being developed, here as customer is on daily basis interacting with us, he prioritizes the functionality of the application that needs to be developed initially so that he can use it for his business. Got it? What I mean to say here is the major functionality of the application I mean the uh, top priority application functionality is being initially developed and tested, so that the the actual part, leaving the priority 2 and priority 3 functionalities, the top priority item is being developed, tested, and pushed to production, so that me as a customer or a client can use that application for my business. Which means that when I spend lakhs of millions of dollars and I see a result here in my business, I'm able to use this. Okay, which means that I'm seeing value, which means that I need not wait till the complete project is done. Okay, I did not wait for years together to see my end product. Okay, so the advantage of this agile, other advantage other than being flexible to change, is early to market. Got it? Agile accepts changes. Okay, agile encourages early to market, which means that small chunks of the top priority functionality is being developed, tested, and pushed to production so that customers can use it. When I'm spending money, I cannot wait for years together to look at the end product. Nowadays, clients are very fast. They want the results as quickly as possible. Okay. So, how many days is this iteration going to be? What do you mean by iteration? How many iterations will be there? Okay. So these are nothing but these. You see it here, right? Ceremonies and events. Okay. What happens in agile methodology? Okay. Are we good till now? Agile methodology. Any questions? Are you guys trying to understand something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, what are the two advantages? Flexible to change, early to market of agile methodology. What else a client require? Okay, other than these two. When I'm spending crores of rupees, and I did after 3 to 4 years of time, I asked for ABC and XYZ is here. After 4 years of time, I lost all my crores of rupees. What is that I'm going to get? Dissatisfaction. But here in agile methodology, you are interacting with the development team on daily basis. If something is not really going well, you ask the development team to change it. Okay. So simply let me making note of this notes. Guys, this is an interview question. Why Agile? If somebody start questioning you on Agile, first question will be why Agile? Early to market and flexible to change. Okay. Now, let us discuss what are the core principles of Agile methodology. Okay. Core principles or core values of Agile methodology. Okay. First one, individuals and team interactions over processes and tools. What is waterfall model? What is an V model? What is a spiral model? All these are process, isn't it? You will have to follow this. Okay, post that you will have to follow this. Post that you should follow this. What is this? Nothing but process. Okay, so the first core value of Agile methodology is individuals and interactions, individuals and team interactions over processes and tools. Okay, so guys, if you are having any questions. So what does this mean? Agile gives more importance to the team. Okay, Agile gives more importance to the people in the team. Okay, and the interaction between the team over processes and tools. Processes and tools that we are using in our traditional SDLC models. SDLC is nothing but a process and tool, right? So all these processes and tools are pushed aside and more importance is given to the individuals and team interactions. Team interaction in the sense you have developers, you have test engineers, you have customers. Okay, these people will be interacting on daily basis in Agile methodology to deliver a rich product. Rich in the sense the actual functionality that the client requires. Okay, so individuals and teams interact between them and they understand what the client requires, what is the functionality that the client is requiring, and then start developing it. If people are, in our traditional, it's like the document is the baseline document. As I said, after every phase, we'll be reviewing it of SDLC. After every phase of SDLC, we will be reviewing each and every phase. Okay, which means that after review we will be baselining it. Okay, while developer is starting to test to develop the application, okay, what is his basic document that needs to be developed, or what is the basic functionality that he will be having to be developed, will be as part of the design document. Okay, what is that a developer needs to develop is, he will be taking a look at the design document. He will be given the design document, and based on the design document, developer start developing it. And how do we as a test engineers test the application? Yes, we do have requirements. After analysis and designing, we do get business requirement document or functional requirements, FRS or SRS, system requirement specifications. Okay, these documents are our baseline documents. We will not be speaking to our clients, even though we feel that this is not right during our testing phase. Even though we know that client is going to suffer because of this kind of development, we cannot go and say this to the clients. Okay, why? Because that's already baseline. If something is not right, it will go accordingly to the application. Okay. So here, what is happening? Process and tools. While we follow process, we should stick to it. If some faulty design document is developed, faulty application is also developed. Why? Because our baseline to test an application is the document. If some error is in the document, yes, error should be there in the application. What's our tester's job? Application should match the requirements. Day one, I have called this out. As a tester, what we need to do is, we need to map the requirements to the application that is being developed. If the application is not matching the requirements in that sense, requirements that are gathered, okay, that's said to be a defect. If the application is according to the requirements, we go forward testing the other parts of the functionality. So that is the process that we need to follow when it comes to traditional waterfall or traditional SDLC. But here, Agile gives more importance to the team interactions. Okay, if you feel something's not really right, you can go speak to the client, ask him, say him your suggestions, take the inputs. Okay, and then you can give your advantages, disadvantages of something which you thought it was not right. There can be some interaction going on between the client and the team, and then a beautiful product can be developed. So the first core value of Agile methodology is individual and team interactions over process and tools. Okay, coming to the second one. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Okay, what is the second one? Working software over what does this mean? Working software over comprehensive documentation. Agile more concentrates on the software that needs to be delivered to the client. Traditional models, SDLC models, concentrate more on documentation. As I was just now saying, what is the baseline for you to develop an application is the design document. What is the baseline for you to test an application that is being developed is the requirements document. So we concentrate more on the documentation in traditional models, but here in Agile model, we concentrate more on working software, which means that, as we just discussed, there is a document and there is an application. We will be matching both of them. Okay, we'll be validating the application with respect to the document, baseline document. And if everything is right, though our inner feeling says that is not right, we should go according to the document in traditional models. But in Agile, if you feel that something is not really right, as we were discussing, okay, we can still stop it there. Okay, we can still discuss on this one. We can still work on a product that is really used for the that is really being useful for the client. So end of the day, Agile methodology more concentrates on the software that is being developed and delivered to the client instead of the documentation. You have no documentation at all in the Agile methodology. You know what are the documents? There is a separate topic in our course content which discusses about BRS, business requirement document, or business requirement specifications, SRS, system requirement specifications, FRS, functional requirements specifications, or sorry, yeah, FRS is functional requirement specification. Then you have HLD, which is high level document, LLD, which is low level document. Then you have test plans. Then you have test strategies. Then you have test scenarios. Then you have test cases. Then you have defects. Okay. These are the number of documents you will be, developing or designing while you are following traditional models. Okay, look at the time that is involved in preparing these documents. So instead of preparing those documents, instead of following those documents, we are more concentrating on working software. So what do you feel? Are we reducing the time? We are more concentrating on developing this software instead of preparing the documentation. Agile is having zero documentation. Okay, that's the core second principle or core second value. What is the third one? Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. What does that mean? Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Spelling right. What does this mean? Customer collaboration. Customer collaboration or contract negotiation. What does customer collaboration means? Customer or client? Yeah, please, Anu.
Custom collaboration, we can say that the interaction with the client and get their reviews and if any changes or anything required, so we can be collaborate for client regarding this. And negotiable, if our product for this, if we are client will be provide any changes or anything will be gonna change in our product, so we can be negotiate for timing for that in our contract.
Excellent. You're Tanu, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Okay. As you said, customer collaboration. Okay. We will, as we were discussing, day in and day out, we'll be discussing with client or the software that is being developed. Right. So, Agile more says discuss with the customer. Okay, so that you know what needs to be developed. And you are having a clear picture of something that needs to be delivered to the client. Okay, customer collaboration or contract negotiation. Contract negotiation. See, why did I separate all this? You're looking at my screen, right? All the over part is moved aside. All the over part, over process and tools, over comprehensive documentation, over contract negotiation. Okay, all these are part of traditional methodologies. So that is the reason. Over in the sense, previously we were doing this. Because of Agile, we are doing all this. Previously, we were concentrating on process and tools, comprehensive documentation, contract negotiation, and the fourth principle, responding to change or following a plan. Let me write that one also here so that you have a clear picture. In our traditional models, we were following processes, we were using tools, okay? We were developing huge documentation, we were reviewing it, we were taking them as baseline to develop it, to test the application, okay? And what does contract negotiation means here? Okay, give me a moment, I'm getting it. Sorry about that, guys. Contract negotiation. So, as we were discussing, if there is something wrong really happening in the application, okay, though we know that that is not really right and it's not going to work out for the client, still based on the document we will have to follow it. Or what is that you are going to do? You are going to speak to your business analyst, who in turn speaks to the client. What is that going to happen? Okay, now business analyst sits with the client. Okay, he says that this really is not going to work. This is what you have asked for. It's not going to work. So now, in order to change this, come on, this is going to cost us so much. We are done with the application development also, and now we are in testing phase. If we need to change this now, we will have to go through all the phases again. Requirements gathering, planning, design. Again, we got to develop it and come to testing phase. So it's going to cost us. So you'll have to spend more bucks. You'll have to spend more time. I asked you for 3 years of time. With this change, you'll have to extend for another 2 years. So why should a customer wait for 5 years after spending millions of dollars for 5 years to look at the end product? Okay, customer contract negotiations are nothing but everything that why, because client is spending is not just like that. Okay, I'm giving you money, you work on it. Is everything is being put on a paper. Okay, there are so many applications or projects out in the market. If contract is not being satisfied, companies have to pay the client a lot of penalty. Okay, take for example 2022 December 31st, I'll be developing and giving you the application. If that is the contract, January 1st, if you're not going to deliver the product January 1st, you will have to pay huge penalty to the client in return. Okay, contract negotiations are nothing but this. Client, after spending millions of dollars and you taking way long to deliver a product that is being paid for you, discussed very clearly. Okay, and still if you're not going to deliver it, there is a contract signed and you will have to act accordingly. So instead of all this, we speak to our client on regular basis, okay, and get to know what he really wants and fix it. So which one do you feel is more convenient? Customer or client collaboration or these contract negotiations? Okay, then our fourth agile value, responding to change or following a plan. As I was saying, there is a test plan that is being developed before we start our testing. Okay, we'll discuss what a test plan is. Test plan in the sense, to brief, there is a plan which is predefined for testing team to be followed after the development of the application is done and given to us to test it. Okay, what does the plan contain? Or there are so many components of a test plan. Okay, like of course, we'll discuss in detail, like this plan contains what needs to be tested, what need not be tested of this particular module. Okay, who needs to test, when it needs to be tested, what needs to be tested, how it needs to be tested. Okay, what are the tools that needs to be used? What is the time frame that you will be following to test it? Okay, there is a particular plan designed before we start our testing in traditional models. But what happens in agile model, I'm highlighting it here. Both development and testing activities are concurrently happening. So responding to change or following a plan, we are very eager to respond to the change if client is not satisfied with the product or the functionality that is being developed. We respond to the change, pick up the functionality, develop it, and give it to the client. Okay. So these 4 principles are adding value to the client who is spending a lot of dollars. Okay. That is the reason. Agile is getting into wide existence. Questions on core values? Anything that you did not understand? Guys, make a note of this. Okay. Let us discuss the differences between agile model and waterfall model. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My screen in the sense the notepad.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Now let us discuss the differences between agile model and waterfall model. Okay. Agile model, let me give the advantages first and then let's go to the disadvantages. Not disadvantages. We'll be discussing the differences between agile as well as waterfall. Okay, what are the differences? Why we need to use agile? So Okay, guys. These are the advantages and disadvantages I can think of currently. Okay. So, what are the advantages of Agile or waterfall model? Agile is incremental and iterative approach, as we discussed. Okay. The development is done in small iterations, and the top priority functionality is being picked up initially. That's being developed, tested, and pushed to production so that client can use it. So this is the incremental. After the top priority, gradually priority 2, priority 3 functionality is being picked up, and it's being delivered to the client. Okay. This is unstructured model, which means that like waterfall, okay, there is no particular, there's no particular way that is being defined to follow. Okay. Agile basically can be can be used to implement smaller large products, but the waterfall here can be used only for small projects. Okay. Defects can be fixed anytime during the iteration. Iteration, what is an iteration? Iteration is nothing but a small cycle where development and testing is done. The functionality that needs to be developed is taken. Okay. It is being developed, tested, and pushed to production. That is one iteration. So next iteration, another functionality is taken, developed, tested, pushed to production. Okay. There's another iteration. Likewise, there are a number of iterations. These iterations span from 1 week to 4 weeks as prescribed Agile or Scrum book. Okay. So here, when we are testing the application, we get any defects, we are going to ask developer to fix it then and there, and then we are going to test it again. Okay. But waterfall model, you get a defect, guys, can you go on mute, please? Thank you. So, but waterfall model, when you are looking at the defects, okay, when you get it, excuse me. Okay, no, let me mute. Okay. So defects can be fixed in the iteration itself, but in traditional waterfall model, defects needs to be reported to the your test lead. Test lead in turn reports to the business analyst. Business analyst send it to the project lead. Project lead gives this to the development team. Development team fix it and wait for the build to be given to the, next build to be given to the testing. This is the process that is being followed. I'll explain you what this complete flow is while we are discussing in the future classes. So this is the time it requires for a defect to be fixed in waterfall model. Okay. So development is done in small iterations as we discussed, but here development is done only once and given to the client. Complete application is given to the client. So testers and developers work hand in hand. Yes. So as soon as a small portion is done, small portion is developed, it is being tested then and there. You need not wait for somebody to know. That's what happens in Agile. So testers interaction is less in waterfall model. Communication, we have close communication with clients and developers. As I said, we will be speaking to the clients on a regular basis, okay, as well as developers. So, but in traditional waterfall model, we have we'll have very less communication with the clients. Everything is being written on documents and we got to follow the documents. Any questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Like means the title for disadvantages of agile over waterfall. Is that like we should write it as like means a disadvantage of waterfall over agile, right?
Disadvantage of agile. Sorry. Advance of agile, disadvantage. Sorry. I'll better remove this.
I was just thinking because I'm saying that these are the disadvantages of waterfall. Thank you, sir.
I should be thankful. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Questions. We have a lot to learn in Agile. I'll give you some time for questions. Still, we got to discuss the terminology, the events that happen in Agile. And then we'll be discussing what is a Scrum, what is a Kanban, okay, and who will be part of the team. So what is a product backlog? What is the Scrum backlog? What's the process flow of Agile? Okay, tomorrow we'll be discussing that. For today, for today's class, what are the questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Like means, sir, if interviewer asks us, like means, see, suppose tell me the advantages, tell me the disadvantages, like anything. So we should explain this as within 2 to 3 line, or we have to explain like means as you are explaining, like means 6 to 7 lines.
Okay. First thing, remember, during interviews, you will not have much time. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, interviewer will be given maximum 1 hour. Okay. Of course, few interviews continue, but maximum it's like 1 hour, and more than that is exceptional. Okay. So if you're having more points, see, while you are taking an interview, while you are giving an interview, make sure that you kill the time. Okay. If you get a question that is very much known to you, okay, try to explain it in detail. Okay.
Yeah.
So now tell me, will you answer in 3 lines or 6 lines?
Like means I can answer it in 6 line also, but
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, I'm giving a tip, interview tip.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of the interviewers will not prepare for the interview. Okay. Only people who are new to take interviews will have questions handy. Okay. But what we do is we look at your profile.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll ask you to initial question. Tell me about yourself. Then comes to tell me about your project. Okay. Then based on your answers to these questions, we start questioning you. How do we start questioning you is while you are answering these two questions, you will be leaving us some points where we can cross question on those points. So make sure that while you are answering something in the interview, you will not give the interviewer a scope for you to cross question on the same answers that you are giving. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Generally, what we does is we will basically we actually how it happens is we will be somewhere doing our job and will be called out during our work hours to take the interviews. Okay. So what is that will be running in our brain says, okay, what next to be done? I mean, it's like with respect to our job. Okay. And interview, while we are asked to take the interview, oh, what is that we will be thinking is we will not get diverted while we are in middle of something. So we'll be concentrating on only the answers that you are saying. So the next question which you answer, which we question, will be the question from your answer.
Okay.
So everybody, while you are preparing for your interviews, make sure you give very straight answer. Okay. And I see a smiling face from Pawan. You want to comment something? So give a very straight answer to the interviewer. Okay. And if you know complete answer of a question, try to give the complete answer. Try to kill some time on the question which you know, instead of giving interviewer a chance to ask another question which is not known to you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. While you are preparing for interviews, prepared for, I mean, any topic, prepare in a full length. If interviewer comes to know that you are only half knowledge on a particular topic, you're done. I can say you're not into that company anymore. Okay. If it doesn't know, I don't know. That's all. Or if you know, if it doesn't know, still you want to speak out, speak it out in a very confident way. Even though if the introvert says no, it's wrong, say him that yes, that's right. That's the way we work. Got it?
Yes, sir.
What is the point that we are looking here is the confidence, how confident the candidate is. Okay. Don't argue with interviewers. Have a smiling face always. Of course, these tips I'll give you during the final classes, okay, of our course content. Okay, chalo then. If any questions, please call it out, or we are already 7 minutes late. Guys, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.